Welcome, my name is Chris Hamilton. Today is March 7th, 2020. So I felt, started producing a number of videos, and I felt compelled to produce one video at least, talk a little bit about the coronavirus. It is in the news everywhere you look today, this past week. It's affected the markets, it's affected the global economy. Here in Alaska, at this time, we don't have any confirmed cases within the state. I think most of us think it's just a matter of time. The stores have been impacted as far as water being wiped out off the shelves, face masks, hand sanitizers, all of these things are in short supply if you were to visit your local Walmart or any of the other stores selling this. In fact, I was at the store last weekend with my mom picking up some just some hardware supplies at Ace Hardware, and my mom picked up a container of face masks, and we brought it up to the counter. And I was curious, so I asked the guy, there's a kid behind the counter, I asked him, are you selling a lot of these? And he says, oh yeah, in fact, what you see on the shelf there is all we've got left. And this was last Saturday, this is a week ago. And I said, oh wow, so you're telling me if I was to go and clear off the rest of the shelf, I could make a fortune on eBay? And he laughed and said, hey, you probably could, right? But I knew pretty quickly then that people were taking it a little more seriously than I had taken it. Now I can say in my professional life, I'm thankful to work for a place they're taking it very seriously. So there's ongoing planning, and of course everyone hopes that you don't have to execute the plans, but it's nice to know that there is planning in place in the event that we get hit with this. And here we look for triggers like things of school districts closing, right? Obviously that'll have a huge impact on employees, on each one of us. I have a kid in the school district as well, although thankfully she's old enough that I wouldn't have to stay home from work necessarily to take care of her. She'll have her own concerns. She works at a fast food place, and so there's some question as to whether or not fast food places should stay open if the coronavirus continues to grow, right? And I think there's obviously a lot of opinions in the news about whether it's a serious a pandemic or not, whether we should be taking it as seriously as we are, whether the market should be reacting as much as they are. I think I can't comment on any of that. Obviously, I don't want to be sick. I can tell you I got the flu this last fall, and I never get the flu shot. And now that I'm getting older, I'm thinking maybe I should get the flu shot. I was down for 4 days. I'm not used to getting sick, and when I got sick, and the symptoms were ones that I wasn't used to having. It was for me, it was 4 days of having a headache, fever, and fever, and that was it. And that was enough to put me down. I was fatigued for 4 days, not able to work from home even. So thankfully I worked for a place that I had time off, that I could take some time off. So the flu is no joke. And I believe that coronavirus is no joke as well. Again, thankfully here in Alaska we haven't had any known cases yet. Public health departments are paying attention. They are developing plans. The state of Alaska, you may or may not know this, is having a little bit of a budget, I won't call it a crisis, but there's definitely some turmoil as traditional revenue supplies have changed. The dynamics of our revenues changed a little bit, so money's not as readily available, and we don't have a state income tax in Alaska, and we don't have a state sales tax, right? All of Alaska's revenues generally are derived from oil royalties, and those have changed significantly, especially recently as our oil's really tanked along with the rest of the market. So, long story short, coronavirus, be careful, wash your hands, right? If you are sick, stay home, stay away from others. I have my daughter, as far as travel goes, I would say don't travel as much as you can avoid travel. I know I'm avoiding travel. I don't like to travel anyway, don't tell anybody, but my daughter has a travel trip to Belize in June, or I think it's June actually. And so there's some question as to whether or not she should go to that. It's through a private tour operator. And it's a no refund type of deal. So if she doesn't go, there's no money back. If she does go, she's healthy. I'd be surprised, the risk for a young person, this being dangerous for them to the point of being fatal, pretty low. I think the risks I would be more concerned about are her ability to get home, or and somehow get quarantined and not be able to have the resources to make it through that. But There's another part of the parent side of me that says, hey, those are the types of experiences you have in life that impact you and turn you into a different type of person down the road, a more prepared person who appreciates planning. And so, as much as I would hate for her to experience something like a delay or a quarantine, that is something that would change her life absolutely, and it might not be the worst thing. Anyway, hey, thanks for visiting. Look forward to talking to you again. Thanks.